Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into an industry that, well, it kind of quietly powers a lot of the digital world you see every day. We're unpacking a really fascinating report on the global stock photos market. Our mission here is to, get beyond just the surface numbers and help you understand this incredible growth in visual content online. And maybe what that tells us about the pulse of the global digital economy right now.
Indeed. And it's really more than just selling pictures, isn't it? It's like a window, a powerful one, into the whole digital creative economy. It shows us where content creation is really booming, sure, but also the deeper forces driving that expansion globally. I mean, it reflects a fundamental shift, really, towards a visual language. Right. How businesses, how individuals communicate, grab attention, convey meaning online.
Okay, let's unpack this. The numbers themselves are pretty striking. The global stock photos market, it's clearly on a major upswing, shows really robust, sustained demand for visuals. So back in 2021, the market was valued at over $4.5 billion, but fast forward just a few years to 2025, and it's expected to jump to nearly $6 billion. And then looking further out, say to 2033, the report projects it hitting almost $10 billion. That's basically doubling in just over a decade, with a strong compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 6.7%. It's not just some fleeting trend. It feels like a really fundamental climb.
Yeah, and beyond that impressive 6.7% CAGR figure, the real insight, I think, is how deeply visual communication has woven itself into, well, the fabric of our digital lives. It's not just, an add-on anymore. It feels like a core language. And it's not only businesses trying to sell things. Think about education, healthcare, even how personal identity gets built visually online now. The report seems to suggest this constant need for fresh, high-quality images, well, it's almost non-negotiable for anyone operating digitally, which shows a surprising resilience even when the economy fluctuates a bit.
That really resonates. It really is the visual backbone for so much online experience. Okay, now let's drill down a bit into the geography, because while the whole market's booming, different regions are contributing in, well, sometimes surprising ways. Unsurprisingly, perhaps, North America currently leads the pack, represents a big chunk of the global market. 2021, the region accounted for over $1.6 billion in revenue, and that's projected to grow to nearly $3.4 billion by 2033, still maintaining a healthy CGR around 6.4%. Now, within North America, the U.S. is still the dominant force, yeah? Projected to more than double its market value to over $2.5 billion by 2033. But, the interesting story might be the acceleration in its neighbors. Canada is surging with a CGR over 7%. And Mexico, okay, starting from a smaller base, but it's showing explosive growth, nearly 9% CGR kit.
And this highlights a really fascinating dynamic. While the U.S. is the biggest market just by sheer volume, which reflects its mature digital economy, those higher KGRs in Canada, and especially Mexico, they point to faster digital adoption, more content creation happening. Mexico is nearly 9%. Every KGR isn't just a statistic. It signals this burgeoning demand from new businesses, individual creators, people rapidly setting up online and realizing, hey, I need good visuals. It's about the pace of that digital transformation, and the new opportunities that come with it.
That makes total sense, especially with new businesses jumping online. But I wonder, is there something specific driving Mexico's growth even faster than maybe general digital adoption would suggest? Like, are we seeing a particular boom in e-commerce or digital marketing down there?
That's a short question. The report does hint that Mexico's rapid growth isn't just organic. It seems fueled by a mix of things: increasing internet access, a young, very digitally savvy population, and this wave of entrepreneurial activity that's really leveraging online platforms. You see e-commerce, social media marketing, even digital education initiatives are all booming. And they're all hungry for accessible, good quality visuals, like a whole ecosystem forming rapidly.
Right, right. That makes those numbers even more compelling. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, I think. While North America leads in total dollars, the Asia-Pacific region, wow, it's truly the engine of global growth right now. Started around $1 billion back in 2021, but projected to hit a massive $2.45 billion by 2033, growing at an impressive 7.21% CAGR, which is noticeably higher than the global average. Let's look at some key players there. China accounted for over $337 million in 21, projected to hit more than $800 million by 2033, strong 7.5% CAGR. India, over $116 million in 21, expanding at an even more impressive 8.35% CAGR. Wow. And the highest regional CAGR, that actually goes to Taiwan at 8.57%, growing to over $127 million by 2033. And, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, they also show solid growth, all contributing to this regional powerhouse feel.
Yeah, and if you connect that to the bigger picture, Asia-Pacific leading in growth rate isn't really a shock, is it? Given the massive an increasingly digital population there. I mean, this region has billions of internet users, and with the explosion of local e-commerce, social media, online businesses, the demand for visuals is just skyrocketing. The growth in places like India and China, and that remarkable acceleration in Taiwan, it reflects this surge in digital content creation and consumption. Visuals are just crucial for reaching these vast, diverse audiences. Just imagine the sheer volume of new online stores, influencers, digital campaigns launching daily, all needing to communicate visually. It's immense.
It's an undeniable force, yeah, driven by that scale. Okay, moving over to Europe, a more established market, perhaps, but still really dynamic. We see a diverse growth picture there. The market was worth almost $1.2 billion in 2021, expected to grow to nearly $2.5 billion by 2033. That's a 6.58% CAGR, actually very close to the global average. The UK contributed over $240 million in 21, moving up significantly to over $560 million by 2033. That's a healthy 7.3% CAGR, higher than the European average. Germany around 7% CAGR, and France about 6% CAGR, also big contributors, showing robust, maybe slightly more mature growth. What's particularly noteworthy, I think, is the rest of Europe category. That shows a really robust 8.3% CAGR, expanding from just over $70 million in 21 to over $190 million by 2033.
That diversity in Europe is fascinating, isn't it? You see the steady, consistent growth in the big established economies like Germany and France, where digital is already pretty deeply integrated. But then you see that higher acceleration in the UK, and that rest of Europe category really jumps out. Now, that suggests it's not just organic growth. It points maybe to concerted digital infrastructure investments, maybe. Perhaps a rapidly expanding entrepreneurial class in some of those smaller, maybe previously overlooked European economies. It suggests that even in highly developed markets, there's still significant room for digital visuals to penetrate further, as more businesses, big and small, get how essential professional imagery is for their online game.
Yeah, that rest of Europe category really tells a story about maybe emerging digital scenes within those existing frameworks. Okay, but let's not overlook the strong trends in other regions too, showing incredible momentum. South America's market, for instance, valued over $300 million in 21, reaching over $628 million by 2033. Solid 6.2% CDGR. Brazil leads there, followed by Argentina, Colombia, all showing decent growth. Then the Middle East market, another region with really powerful momentum, generated over $290 million in 21, projected over $679 million by 2033. Strong 7.3% CDGR. Saudi Arabia leads with 7.8% CDGR, but the UAE shows the highest regional CGR at an impressive 7.9%. Turkey, Egypt, Qatar also expanding significantly. It paints a picture of a region rapidly embracing digital visuals. And finally, Africa, a continent just brimming with potential, right? The market reached over $146 million in 2021, growing to over $308 million by 2033. That's a 6.1% CAGR. Nigeria leads the continent, 6.5% CAGR. South Africa also showing strong expansion at 6.8%. Now, these numbers might seem smaller in absolute terms compared to, say, North America or Asia, but those growth rates are a clear signal about the future.
Mm-hmm. And that raises an important question, doesn't it? What do these regions, South America, the Middle East, Africa, what do they have in common when it comes to stock photos? Well, they're all experiencing rapid digital transformation, increasing internet penetration, a burgeoning creative class. The strong growth rates, especially somewhere like the UAE or Nigeria, they signify more than just economic development. It's also this powerful push towards online presence, digital content creation, which just demands high-quality visual assets. It's the story of new businesses, new platforms, millions of new internet users coming online, and they immediately need to communicate visually. So this demand creates fertile ground for the stock photo market to thrive, often from a lower starting point, which makes those percentage increases look even more dramatic.
Right. So what does all this mean for you, the listener, trying to stay informed about the global digital economy? We've seen these incredible numbers, impressive growth rates across the globe. It paints a picture of an industry that's not just relevant, it feels essential. But what's really fueling this expansion? What makes it so resilient and widespread?
Well, ultimately, the report seems to boil it down to three core drivers, and they kind of intertwine and boost each other. First, just the increasing amount of digital content creation across every platform imaginable, right? Professional websites, personal social media feeds, everything. Second, a consistent and always growing demand for high-quality visual assets to make all that content engaging, trustworthy, effective. And third, the rise of these online creative platforms globally that make it easy and affordable for almost anyone to access these visuals. So whether it's a startup launching a website, an influencer building a brand, or a huge corporation running a global campaign, Compelling visuals aren't optional anymore. They really are the universal language of the internet now.
Exactly. Just think about how much content you consume every single day and how much of it relies on strong visuals just to grab your attention, right? From marketing campaigns for products you like, to personal blogs you follow, educational materials for online courses, to that endless stream of social media stories and posts, they all need engaging visuals. And these stock photo websites are making that accessible to basically everyone. From huge corporations with big budgets down to individual creators, small businesses, nonprofits, people who need professional looking imagery without the cost of custom photo shoots. It's really democratizing visual content in a massive way, making sure almost anyone can tell their story effectively online. So there you have it, a pretty clear picture that the stock photos market isn't just growing, it's really flourishing across all regions. We've seen particular strength, accelerating growth in Asia Pacific, the Middle East, Africa, all driven by this ever-increasing global need for digital visual content. It's really a testament to the power of imagery in our interconnected world, shaping how we communicate, learn, even how we define ourselves online.
And maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. As artificial intelligence continues to advance, and it's advancing incredibly fast in generating photorealistic images, how do you think the value, the demand for traditional human-created stock photography and, the unique human creativity behind it, how will that evolve in this rapidly changing digital landscape? What new opportunities or maybe challenges might that create for content creators, for consumers alike? Especially as that line between real and generated visuals gets increasingly blurry. Something to ponder, I think, as our visual world keeps transforming.